deal with the issues as quick as possible and get straight back in there.
Alright guys, we're back and my microphone is working. I just restarted the stream and bam, wham bam, thank you ma'am, all that kind of phrasing, and it is back. So we are into the skin intimidation. Guys, we have 2 silvers, 2 plats, and a gold versus, well, 4 diamonds and a platinum. I have to give the skin and board reward to the red team. So let's see what they make out of this.
Well, it shows that they've got a lot of influence and a lot of cash, but it doesn't mean they've got enough skill to play against the other team. The other team seems to have, in my opinion, a lot of the stronger picks. We can see Thresh, Jarvan, and Shen. 3 very incredibly strong picks. Shen being one of the top 4 bans in most games, and Jarvan being one of the top junglers currently in Season 3.
Absolutely. And some great advice that we've always received is don't pick what's OP, pick what you're OP at.
Oh, indeed, indeed. I entirely agree with you at that point. So we can just, as you said, I'm just going by basically what the champions or the best champions are at the moment, but obviously it comes down to the player's skill in the eventuality. So we can only foretell what's happening there. All we can do is just make what's the word I'm looking for? Assumptions is probably the best word for this situation, I think.
Alright, and as you can see on the mini-map, we have pings showing where to run for the red team. However, Jarvan just seems to know where they're going and goes to sit in that brush to camp it out. Bam, there it is. There's another ping right on top of him, in fact. Probably because he's sitting in that bush, or was. However, he has a flag there, so he gets to see them. He's like, oh, yeah, screw this, I'm out.
I am definitely out of here. I'm not going to be dealing with any of this. Purple team going to be staying away. I think they're going to be backing off for now. They have been spotted by that Jarvan. Luckily, that Jarvan flag giving enough sight to spot where they are.
Not only that, but he hit the entire team with the damage of it. Now, while it's very negligible, it still said, "Hi, I know you're there."
Very, very, very true. So, because of that, they know it will mean that Jarvan's going to need a little bit of help when he's taking the creeps. However, he is going to be alright because he now knows there is not going to be any sort of attack on his jungle now.
Absolutely, and it's actually kind of different to see that the fact that they're going to go ahead and start red side for this Jarvan.
It does mean, as I say, it is very true that it's a very interesting side to pick first. However, it does mean he can head up. With this route, it means he can start with the bottom jungle first and then slowly make his way to the top lane, which means he will probably be ganking towards the top first, which is probably strong. As we can see here, they are doing a lane swap for this situation.
Oh, and we see we saw them take wolves to gain their same bonus buff and the top lane.
Oh, this is interesting, as Thresh seems to have found himself a Vladimir already early in the game, both of them placing their wards to prepare for the damage. It does seem that they are going to lane swap. This is an incredibly strong move. Explain why, Kuro.
Well, the reason why a lane swap is so effective is it lets you go ahead and gain an objective advantage, where you can go ahead and dodge unfair or matchups that are not in your favor, such as when you have a Varus who can easily outrange a Kog'Maw and outpoke him, at least for mana efficiency. You don't want to fight that. So what this does is it allows them to gain the farm advantage and take down an objective while starving the enemy top lane.
Absolutely, and because Vladimir managed to counter, in my opinion, the Shen, it did mean that Shen can now go up against what he would perceive as a little bit of an easier comp, especially against a Varus and a Turret. He's just going to have to play it safe for now, and then he'll get his farm later in the game.
Absolutely,
But
that's
now,
not even assuming he goes for farm. He is a very tanky champion. He's normally just defaulted as the tank.
Absolutely true, and you can already see now Shen is being able to manage to control the creeps very well. He is getting a few hits on his tower, but Jarvan is already on his way down. He is going for the gank. Here comes the... he is, in fact, maybe not going straight for the gank. He's just going to scare them off for now, and he's going to walk away. Pretty decent move, in my opinion, actually.
Absolutely. It keeps the red team off the tower because they're already poking you down a lot harder than the blue team is onto the vice versa tower. So it helps. It says, hey, we have a jungler, you know, we have presence. And that's what you need when you lane swap. You need presence in the bottom lane, especially if you're swapping to the top lane.
Absolutely, and if you look in the top lane as well, they are pretty much burning down that Vladimir at the moment. Vladimir was below half health before he started chugging some pots. He's having to use that transfusion quite a bit to try and keep himself healthy to be able to stay in lane, but I don't know how much longer he can stay with all this.
Shen going in with the ulti. I mean
here comes the move in for Jarvan. Jarvan's coming in straight for the gank. Here comes Shen. Shen's going in, throwing that beautiful Vorpal Blade. First blood for the Jarvan there with a nice Q spear straight through the throat, and then now going to chase onto Taric. There goes the taunt, but a good flash by Taric will get him out of the fight. Sorry, Kiro.
That's quite alright. You did your job. And what we're talking about here is a first blood for a lane swap. Now that's pretty good. That's how you stop someone from pushing an objective. But here comes Sejuani to the top lane.
Here she is indeed. She is going to go for the gank. She goes in with that W and the charge. She is using that E now to try and escape. They were going on Kog'Maw, but a beautiful lantern use by Thresh there pushes them out, and Thresh pushes Vladimir out and gets the kill. They're now going to go on to Sejuani. Sejuani goes down along with Kog'Maw, sadly, and it gives Thresh the double kill.
Oh god, it's the support kills all over again. That happens with Thresh.
It looks like the support's going to be carrying and the Kog'Maw's going to be supporting for this game, I think.
Well, what we had happen earlier was support Thresh got a quadra kill.
Well, all I can say is Thresh for the win. They weren't lying when they said AD Thresh is incredibly strong right now. He is definitely making his mark as the support of Kog'Maw, and because Kog'Maw is a hyper carry, both of them are pretty much in a safe zone of being able to carry this game.
And that is completely true. Because what we're looking at here is while these early kills are going to Thresh, it's going to help him get his Philo Stone right off the bat, plus some extra wards to save them from Sejuani. And what they can do is they can do an aggressive bait, pretending they don't have wards, and be like, yeah, I don't see you there, tee-hee, slam.
I say one thing I would address is the fact that Kog'Maw got initiated on heavy by both Vladimir and Sejuani in that fight. However, wonderfully played by Thresh there, throwing in a lantern, saving the Kog'Maw.
In the bot lane.
Being able to, in the bot lane. Here we go again. Jarvan coming in straight for another gank. Moving straight onto the Varus, which is the correct target, bringing him down once again with that Jarvan initiation of gank, as well as the combination of Shen's taunting and Jarvan's knockup. So good of a lane comp in the bot lane to counter the unfortunate counter that they were trying to do.
Yes, what happened was Shen was just letting them poke the tower, getting confident, and Varus got a little too close, and he was waiting for Jarvan, and all of a sudden, bam, he taunts in, Jarvan flag and drags, and that's just all she wrote.
All she wrote indeed. This is turning out to be quite a already one-favored game, with only the red team getting one kill out of this. Here comes the Shen onto Kog'Maw though. Shen's going straight in. There goes the Hemo Plague. Kog'Maw is going to have to pull out. He's taking a bit too much damage, but Shen is going to try and tank the tower as much as possible. Vladimir's trying to do as much damage as he can, but there was a beautiful shot by Kog'Maw and a Vorpal Blade by Shen, which gives Kog'Maw the kill he needs on the Vladimir.
And, not to mention, the mechanics of all these switch tankings. All three of them tanked that turret at some point.
They did indeed. They were all tanking that turret as much as possible. However, Shen is going to have to back because they are three-man pushing that bot lane now. They will take it. However, they did take top lane in response. So the blue team did come out ahead.
Now, are we going to see the same lanes returning, or are we going to see them swapping back to normal?
I don't know. I think we'll just have to wait and see, because right now they are going to try and converge on the dragon, which is a strong move for the purple team to try and even this out.
I honestly couldn't agree more, but the blue team knew they were there because of their warding, because they were pinging it, and they knew, however, they're not going to get there nearly fast enough. The lane swap was actually in the favor of the red team in this situation, and they take away a dragon to try and balance out the gold.
Balance out the gold as much as possible. A bit of a late laser there by Lux, it seems. Sadly, they aren't going to try and steal away the dragon, so that is an unfortunity of But hey, Lux is on an incredibly low cooldown, so it doesn't really matter. She has it back up in about 50 minutes, seconds.
50 minutes? That's a short cooldown indeed.
50 seconds is what I mean. But hey, you can see now that the Thresh is also coming in for an interesting lane gank on that lane. However, they're not going to have it, and they are just going to back off for now.
And the best part about Thresh is the enemies can see the souls that you're going to pick up. So if he's nearby and souls would drop, people instantly stop what they're doing and think about it. That's exactly what we saw Brand do in the mid lane. There was a couple souls floating right in front of him. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to chase that Lux.
Indeed, indeed. Sadly, Thresh has that possibility. If there are souls in the mid lane, you know he's nearby, and you know you do not want to have any possibility with him. Jarvan trying to keep back Brand for now, but not much seems to be happening right now. They seem to be just pushing their lanes.
So let's go ahead and look and see what that lane swap did. Now, we're looking at farm difference. Shen has 46 and Vlad has 34. He wins that lane swap, especially already having a kill under his belt. And speaking of lane swaps, the technical bottom lane, AD carry and support combo, the blue team completely came out on top, no matter how you look at it. Farm and kills.
They did indeed. It just seemed that the lane swaps seemed to work better in their favor. Although they were counterpicked, they knew exactly, okay, well, let's lane swap. We can still outmaneuver the other team. And they did. They proved that. They showed that fully.
And here comes Sejuani to converge onto Thresh with Vladimir. No, never mind. She might be changing her mind.
They do know she's there. They do have a ward in that brush, so they're not going to converge on. Sejuani's not going to commit to that. Instead, they are going to just keep pushing the lane for now.
And I think that's how we're going to see it. So let's see everyone return to the bot and mid lane. In fact, the support is now supporting Brand.
He is indeed. In fact, at the moment, the only mid lane that's actually quite neutral at the moment is the mid lane, with Lux and Brand just managing to just switch back and forth between pushing lanes. I think Brand's kind of having the advantage in this. However, Lux is still kind of holding her own at the moment. She's
Absolutely.
doing
Lux
too badly.
is actually ahead in farm.
Oh, she is. Oh, well.
Ooh, would have been a great chain.
Ah, yes, a great chain indeed. However, he is going to try and push back the Taric. Taric supporting Vladimir for now. However, he is just letting Kog'Maw farm, and that's good because you need to get your carry farmed up.
However, in the bottom lane.
However, in the top lane as well and bot lane, there are two fights going on at the moment. In fact, there's no fight going on in the bot lane, so I'm going to concentrate on the top lane even, so I'm going to concentrate on the bottom lane. In fact, I'm going to concentrate on the top lane now because there's just so much going on. It looks like there's just like two possible moves that are going to happen right now. Either a move on the bot lane or a move on the top lane. However, they're just backing off for now. There is no action still. I'm getting excited for no reason.
Poor guy.
Oh dear, but looks like Lux is about to walk straight into a silly thing, but a beautiful flash by Lux there means that she's going to probably escape. Here comes Shen. Shen moves straight and beautiful taunt there by Shen to stop the assault on the Lux. Oh, beautiful counter initiation on that.
And that was a 3-on-1 made into a successful 3-on-2.
It's not going to end though, I'm sorry, because here comes Jarvan. Jarvan's going to try and converge onto the Sejuani. Beautiful binding there by Lux, but there is not much else going to happen other than that.
No, and then we have Vladimir just trying to bait out the the Thresh chains, and he's doing very well, especially when he has a ward there. So, oh my gosh.
Oh well, there's just so much happening in several different places at once. It is quite hard to keep up, guys, but I will do the best I can, and I'm sure Kuro will as well. Kog'Maw trying to back off. Sadly, a ward placement there. Here comes the Kog'Maw. Lovely chain by Thresh there. They're going to try and converge onto the Taric. No, they're not. They're going to back away. They did, I think, see the Varus coming up. Oh, it looks like Kog'Maw got seen again, trying to back away. Oh, they're not going to converge on it either.
No, and Sejuani is roaming around the jungle, taking out their ward coverage. She's actually made a decent profit. She might be halfway of paying it back by now.
That would be a very good thing indeed. In fact, she is now taking out yet another ward. Another
Ward
ward
kills.
bites the
Ward
dust.
kills.
Ward kills. Oh dear. Well, until something happens, I'm just going to pass you on to Kira. In fact, I'm going to strike up Kira with a question.
Oh no.
You can see the builds going down already. I'm quite interested to see what Sejuani's going to be building. And she's got 1 kill, 1 death, and she's already got a decent amount of farm under her belt at the moment. So what do you think she's building right now?
Well, what she's building is she's building the ancient... She's actually building the Wraith, which is the cooldown and... actually, it's the health and armor, excuse me. The Wraith...
The Golem. The Golem one.
Golem gives a AP and cooldown.
No, Golem gives the... Wraith gives the AP and...
Really? I thought it was the other way around. Either way,
Nope.
she is getting the one that gives the extra tankiness, because that's exactly what she needs being a CC machine.
Ah, I see. So, how will that help her in this situation, do you think?
Well, what she does is some of her damage from the Frost actually scales off her HP, much like Shen. So she actually does more damage the more health she has.
Okay, that's I say, well, that seems very interesting because in the situation that she's in right now, she's gonna need to be extra tanky and have that extra damage under her belt to be able to do a lot.
Absolutely, and there's
but here comes the Sejuani ult. They are going to converge onto this. The whole team of play going down. There goes the Cataclysm. Lots of damage going down onto the Sejuani. Sejuani goes down, and so does Vladimir by the Thresh. Nicely done, but the ultimate from the Brand manages to pull off that kill. Kog'Maw going quite low there. There goes the binding from the Lux, but Lux manages to miss it. Beautiful explosion by the ult Kog'Maw death there because Brand manages to kill it. However, Brand gets a double kill from that engagement because of the burn that Thresh was suffering.
And that makes it a 3v3 fight because of those dots and the explosion. So that is some crazy stuff.
So much stuff going down in one section of time, all perfectly converged with each other. Good 3v3 trade-off. However, I think it's going to have to go into the Blues' favor because right now, Shen is going to take the top turret for this.
And then he's going to run away. Or try.
He's going to try and run away. However, the Sejuani slow is going to try and go down on him, but I don't think it's going to be enough because Sejuani can't slow him enough at the moment to stop him. That taunt managed to get him away. Oh, missed Lux ult there. They are going to try and chase the Varus, but they are going to back off for now as they see the rest of the team is coming.
I would have stopped as soon as I missed that ultimate, but that is just me.
Well, to be honest, they actually did in that regard. But however, they managed to catch him under the turret. They are going to go and try and TowerDive for this. They are thinking about it. In fact, they are just going to go for the turret. They are all there. They may be able to possibly converge on this. However, Sejuani is thinking a bit too fast up out of line, having to use a flash. In goes the Shen for a taunt, trying to get them off, but they are going to just go their separate ways for now. It is pretty much a cold war between the two for this middle turret at the moment.
You leave Russia out of this, good sir.
Oh dear, there's a binding right down. There goes the laser, but a beautiful pull there by Vladimir to avoid all that damage.
That definitely would have been fatal.
That was a wonderful move by the Vladimir there. He was bound. He was pretty much going to be screwed, but he used that pull to save himself from at least 3 different moves, one of them being a Lux laser.
But now
incredible move. But now the favors have turned for the red team. The red team seem to be stuck underneath their tower right now. No, I mean the blue team is stuck under the tower right now. Ooh, what am I saying?
It's quite alright, because both teams are going to go ahead and recoup, rebuy, and return.
Absolutely, and I think that's the best thing they can do right now. It seems that the red team are going to be sticking around for a little bit just to do a bit of farming, but both teams seem to have backed off from that engagement. I don't think both these teams can go with prolonged engagements. And I think if one of these teams does do the prolonged engagement, one of these teams are going to prevail, but each team just does not seem to want to do the prolonged engagement.
Absolutely. Vladimir and Shen are the sole examples of sustain. And just pitting them together like this is what makes this enjoyable to watch.
Indeed, indeed. And the fact that Shen can just... A lot of the time, especially in that early engagement, that was a 4v5 for the best part. And they came out 3v3 with only Lux remaining. Shen the entire time was pushing a top lane. In that regard, they were winning in that favor. But here comes the Jarvan in the middle ult. Beautiful timing there by the Cataclysm, and a nice laser by Lux gets them a kill on Varus. They're going to try and go for it. Beautiful chain by Fresh, picking up Jarvan, another kill. That makes a double kill for the Jarvan there. Beautifully done.
And sadly, the Lux laser missed Varus.
He did, didn't it? He did just manage to move out of that Lux laser, but however, he was still picked up for a kill there. Still a lot of burn damage going on from the Brand, but that's Brand's job really. He just keeps them far off from possible. Vladimir taking that top turret, and he's going to back off to try and defend the mid.
This Kog'Maw really needs to learn when to back off because he is almost dead and Brand just keeps grazing him. However, Shen giving no fucks.
However, Shen, they are going to pick up a beautiful turret there.
Wow!
Oh, that was perfect. A beautiful Lux laser sniping that Taric down. Beautifully done. I love Lux just because she can do that.
We won't tell you what the secret name for it is. It's not so secret. I'll just tell you guys, it's the cannon.
The cannon. The cannon snipe. Oh dear. But what can I say? There is just so much going on in this game, and I love it. There is just so much pushing and pulling of these two teams right now. They're not relenting off each other. They're just going to keep going at each other.
Absolutely, and that's how things are supposed to be. I mean, this entire game we've seen nothing but straight aggression, and it's just shown and shown, and it's been entertaining for everybody, including the casters.
Oh, well, I just don't know what to say. There is just so much stuff going down. There is just so many things revolving around the entire time, and it's just all so perfect. All so perfect right now. Both teams I applaud both teams for this match right now. It's just so enjoyable to watch.
Well, if you only applaud one side, that's kind of teamist.
Indeed, indeed. But it looks like Red Team are going to try and get the Dragon now.
Dragon goes to the Red Team.
Try and go for it. Here comes Jarvan. Jarvan coming straight in. Beautiful ult. There goes the Cataclysm. Beautiful ult there, but they're trying to stop most of the damage. But oh my god, a Lux laser to pick up a double kill for there. Beautifully done. Beautiful aimed as well. Varus having to use a flash to try and get out of there. Followed by the Jarvan. Jarvan trying to move as quickly as possible to catch up. Heal there by Taric. They are going to maybe go for the tower. No, they're going to back off for now. 3 people survived that, but they did get the Dragon. However, they lost 2 people in that trade-off regard. I think the blue team won that.
Absolutely. Global Gold is good, but a Fed Lux is not.
No, a Fed Lux is incredibly dangerous, especially when she can laser you from across the map and snipe you when you're trying to back. That is... Ugh.
And another thing is, it is now completely in the blue team's favor because they just took a turret, which is global gold, which means they only got 40 less global gold, but that's a double kill for Lux and an assist for everyone.
Indeed.
That equates to 40 gold no matter what.
Well, this game has just shown everything right now. Do you think the blue team have this right now? Do you think the red team can come back from this, or do you think the blue team pretty much has this right now?
I think anybody can come back, and it's always been like that.
It always has.
And the thing is, look at the ward placement at Baron and tell me how funny this is. Why do I think it's funny? Because the pink ward they set outside of the Baron pit cannot see the pink ward that's inside the Baron pit.
And vice versa. So they've both got pink wards down on that place. They can only see the green ward that's there. But they they can see the pink ward that's there. So they're going to pick up 2 wards.
Yes, Thresh has an Oracle, and that makes all the difference.
Oh, that's why. Oh, well, I didn't think the pink ward could be seen there, but oh well. It looks like the red team are now going to be investigating. Oh, we're trying to pick up the red buff there. They managed to get out safely so they can grab it. However, the blue team seems to just be everywhere at once, converging everywhere at a single time, and now they're going to try and bait out a Baron.
Absolutely. The pings are going down onto the Baron pit. They know the red team is following them. Shen can be anywhere he friggin' pleases because of his shield, so he's just gonna go ahead and split, push, and farm a little bit, and get that false confidence of, hey, the entire team's not there.
Yes, 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 yes. So they were pinging it, but they're now backing off, which is kind of interesting because I thought they'd probably want to bait out a Baron fight. Why do you think they've now decided to back off?
Well, by the looks of things, they're probably waiting on just the right timing, or maybe even cooldowns with Thresh's Ignite, or it could be really anything. But in the mid lane.
It could be really anything, but in the mid lane, here we go. Another ulti there by Jarvan, however, it secured quite a few of them. It did get Baron to double kill. Here comes the Lux Laser. Beautifully done to pick up a brand kill there. Here comes Shen with the shield to pick up another kill, and a double kill for Kokomore. However, he does get picked up by the Vladimir. Oh, wow. That just went entirely into the blue team's favor.
Yes. And when you have Sejuani not even in the fight, your CC machine's not in the fight, it just wrecks you.
It does. Shen coming in later in there, baiting out Sejuani away from the rest of the team, then making it a 5v4 in the blue team's favor. That was perfect. That was just good. Good plays by the blue team there.
And not only that, but we're about to see a tower go down.
Another tower to go down. They will not pick up the inhibitor because the rest of the red team are now trying to converge onto that inhibitor, but that tower down is just enough for them.
Yes, and that makes it 6 towers to 2, 17 to 7, and sadly 0 to 2 dragons.
They are at least now a 6k gold lead. They are now converging onto the Vladimir. Vladimir having to use a pull to get out of there, but there was quite a few things used there to output a lot of damage onto that Vladimir, including a Lux ult.
And we're just seeing them trying to defend their mid because they have a Baron inhibitor, and really anybody can just show up and say, oh hi, this thing is mine.
Yes, and now Thresh is really doing his job as well, trying to take out all those wards now, which is a good support indeed. Managing to pay off, I think he's managed to pay off for the oracles now, with all the amounts of wards he's been picking up.
With Thresh dying earlier, he lost his oracle, so he's actually doing this with pink wards.
Oh, bless me.
Speaking of oracles, though, now it's Tarek's turn.
It is Tarek's turn. We did see Sejuani early, trying to pick up as many as she could, but she obviously lost that at some point. Tarek picking up another ward with his newly fashioned oracles. Blue team in mid, they're just going to farm for now. They don't seem to be doing much. Red team obviously been preparing for a mid invasion with Thresh. Thresh is now putting up another ward for now.
He's doing what he needs to. He's keeping vision of the areas.
Absolutely. And Shen is also doing what he needs to do, and that's pushing the bot lane, getting ready to converge on the mid lane when a team fight goes down. Blue team pushing up that mid lane, keeping them backed off nicely. Sejuani placing herself nicely in the top brush there for a split gank. I think this may either go well or bad horribly. Here comes the gank though. There goes the ulti. Here comes the beautiful move by Jarvan. Here comes the Cataclysm separating off Tarek and Thingy, but Jarvan's taking a lot of damage from the Varus there, so he's going to have to back out. No death yet. There goes the Shen ulti. Shen ulti onto the Varus. Varus is taking quite a bit of damage to himself, so he's going to have to back off, and there is no kills so far. Just a lot of team fighting.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Varus almost went down thanks to the Shen coming in and taunting him. However, he just barely got out.
He did barely just get out, but here comes Sejuani again. I think Blue may have overstayed their welcome because they're now taking quite a bit of damage. There goes the Tarek having to flash away. Damage going on to Sejuani. Sejuani is now going to have to back out, and the blue team's now going to have to back up because they're incredibly low. They are going to have to run away from this. Jarvan's managed to back off, and he's now returned for a later engagement. Lux doing is the one doing all the damage right now in most of the engagements.
Well, she is currently 5-0 with Rabbit in his death cap and Athene's Holy Grail and a needlessly large rod. She is dishing out the damage.
She is, she is dishing out loads of the damage, especially when Kog'Maw at the moment is in the place where he is right now, which is he's getting there, but he's not entirely at his point of, I'm going to wreck your entire team just yet. He's almost there though.
Wait until he gets a Runans.
Oh, when he gets a Runans, it's over. When it gets to Runans, it's basically Kog'Maw's gonna start wrecking some face. He's already got a static shiv though, so.
Well, Runans just makes him attack 3 targets with his percentile damage.
Yep, so that's going to be horrible to see. I'd like to see him pick up a Blade of the Ruined King as well to help improve that damage.
Well, what we do get to see, though, on Kog'Maw is a Pink Ward.
Ooh, Pink Ward. Always need those. Always never too hard to have all of your team to have those at once. And they're going to place a ward in that brush there. They're now going to try and converge onto some of the red team. They're basically warding it up, making sure they are knowing where the red team is all the time, and that's basically the perfect thing you can do right now.
Totally. And whenever you see it, here comes Tarek and his oracles.
Oh well, what can you do? Now Shen's gonna back out, and he's gonna go and pick himself up some more items. He's pushed that top lane a bit more, which is good. He's pushed that bot lane quite a bit as well. So they're now going to, now the creeps are gonna push onto that bottom turret. Red can't really do much. They have to stay mid. They have to repel any attack that the blue team does. And that does mean if any of them go bottom, which Shen has just now done, he used his teleport to go bottom. He's now going to split push. It does mean that the red team is going to have to converge. And they do indeed. There goes the Heat Play, goes to the Brand ulti. Beautiful Lux laser there, taking out the Sejuani. They're now going to converge onto the Vladimir. Vladimir picking up the Jarvan there. However, a kill from Kog'Maw to pick up that. And now they're going to chase the entirety of the red team with 4v3 now, with 2 of the red team down and only 1 of the blue team down.
Yeah, and that's how you just do things. You push, push, push. Oh, hey, they're trying to initiate.
They are going to converge onto the turret now. Thresh solo. He does put out that lantern just in case they need help. He's going to stay back though for this, as he's going to try and stay out of it. They are going to back off. They've taken the inhibitor. They've got what they needed. They're going to back out now.
And that's the smart play to do. As soon as you take your objective, you leave.
I say, if you overstay your welcome, you're going to find it hard to do. And at the moment, Shen is going to just continue to split push, and they're going to take another turret out of this. Blue team is so far ahead right now.
Absolutely. We're reaching 8.2k difference. And that's a 5 tower difference, a 1 dragon difference in the red team's favor. But then just double the kills plus that. It is almost like a no contest game. The red team needs the blue team to slip up and take advantage of it.
They do indeed. There goes the Lux laser to pick up the blue. Also manages to slightly hit Sejuani in that as well, which was very laughable to see. But obviously you can't entirely predict where your laser is going to hit. So that's just a little interesting note to see there. But
Sejuani's just like, oh crap!
It's like, where did that come from?
Great, she's in our bushes too.
Oh dear. So at the moment, the red team have lost their middle inhibitor. They are getting pushed from all lanes. Blue could go for the Baron there. Do you think that the red team will respond, or do you think they would have to defend their base?
Honestly, I would love to see the red team respond, pick up, and then defend the base, but that is just being way optimal. You know, just having way too much optimism. What's going to happen is the blue team is going to go ahead and bait this Baron, or just poke the crap out of them, just make them think, no, we don't want to do this.
Well, at the moment, they seem to be doing a very good job in baiting the Baron. At the moment, they are converging on that point, whereas at the moment, Shen's just going to happily push the bot lane, because that's what he's good at doing. He's just going to... So while the red team is wasting all their time trying to predict what the blue team are doing around Baron, Shen is pretty much just pushing that turret. And if they do not respond now, they're going to lose that turret.
And Sejuani is backing to go defend.
She is indeed, but it means the blue team can converge if they need to. Kog'Maw, don't know why Kog'Maw's going top. He needs to stay with his team. They are all converging on Shen. Oh, that's so close, but Shen just manages to back out of there just in time. And because of them all trying to converge on that bottom lane, blue team are now going for the Baron.
And it looks like they're going to get it even with the vision from the red team. Now they got to hurry, they got to smite it, they got to go. No smite needed, and the red team is missing out.
So they are missing out indeed. They do miss out on that Baron. They are going to have to back off and defend now. Otherwise, they would find themselves in an incredibly difficult situation. Unless they can pick off someone, they are going to be in incredibly disadvantage at the moment.
Well, we are 400 gold away from the 10k no point of no return. However, this Kog'Maw is just beating on this Vladimir with only auto attacks, and you can just see it chunk.
Yes, we do. Here comes Shen onto Sejuani. There goes the taunt. They are going to do this 1v1 battle. Sejuani's taking quite a bit of damage, but there's a slow, just too much slow on that, so Shen's not going to follow up. However, in the top lane, the blue team are pushing that top turret. They do want it. They are going to be hungry for a turret, and they will take it with no obligation, especially with that long-range Kog'Maw poke. I think Tarek's playing a little danger ball here. However, he is going to back off, and good respectfully as well, because he almost got hooked by a Thresh there.
And not only that, but Thresh is just gaining those souls like no tomorrow. In fact, let's go ahead and look at his soul buff. We're going to go ahead and see that he has 85 souls. He's 5 away from the roof.
He is indeed, and there was a beautiful Lux combo there, making Tarek have to back, which means this is bad for the blue team, in fact for the red team, because here comes the blue team. Beautiful Cataclysm going down to Sejuani. Sejuani going really low now. They are going to try and have to converge on this, but they are so low, they're not going to do much. They have taken the turret, but they're now going to converge on the rest of the team. Blue team going quite low now. I think Lux had to pop something there to try and save herself. However, there goes the laser, missing the Tarek just. They are going to take the inhibitor. Thresh hooks the Sejuani to keep her from doing anything else, and they are going to have to back out with the turret and the inhibitor under their grasp.
Absolutely, and that makes 2 for them. And now all they got left is the bottom lane.
They are indeed. They are pretty much backhanding the red team for every little mistake they've made so far. And that is pretty much what's winning the blue team this game. Every tiny mistake the red team has done, the blue team has converged on it, and they've won every successful engagement because of it.
And the red team's first inhibitor has went ahead and respawned, which means they have to keep that pressure up. And as you can see, that is exactly what Shen is doing.
That is incredibly what they're doing. All they need to, all the blue team needs to do now is take out that bottom turret, and that could mean an end to the red team's possible defense. However, this isn't over yet. It's not over till the fat lady sings. Even though they are at the point of no return, they're over 10k now behind the blue team.
It would take a huge fumble and then a critical failure, speaking of all this D&D talk, on the blue team's part for the red team to slingshot back into this game.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but this is an epically awesome semi-final game. I believe it's semi-finals, if I'm right. Nice, interesting laser there by Lux to start up the blue buff for her. They are going to move around. There goes the binding. They are going to pick it up, that blue buff. They are picking up everything now. They're going to, I believe the blue team is now getting ready for a final push on the tower. They are going to try and take this game now.
Absolutely. And Thresh, you missed out on the soul of the blue buff. No.
Oh, Thresh. Poor Thresh.
Thanks for the free reward, guys.
GTY, guys. Reward. Thank you. Oh, dear. And there is a nice, interesting Thresh hook there, however, just barely misses them. However, here comes Jarvan. Jarvan going into all 5 of them, not afraid at all. There goes the ulti, however, only hits Kog'Maw. In comes the Cataclysm. He's taking on a lot of people there. Silly Jarvan. Jarvan has to back off now. There goes the Hemo play, goes the Bran out. Beautiful combination there. Thresh now has to back out, but there goes the pickup on Lux. However, Varus picks up a kill, and now so does Vladimir. 3 people down and only 2 for the purple team. Blue team have to back out of this one. It's not going well so far. However, they are going to chase them down. They're going to try and do this. Lux outputting a lot of damage, but here comes Shen. Shen throwing down his taunt, but it's not enough as Lux picks up a kill. But Varus even picks up the kill on Lux. They've turned it around. Yeah. In all respects. Wow.
Not only that, but they got the ace, and it's defending their base. Rhyme that with that, and there you go. Now, they kind of just disappeared. What they did is they recalled to gain their footing back into their base. And as you can see, they have to protect those turrets.
They do now. Sadly, they're at a position where they do have to defend, but That is what they needed. They need a few more of those and an ability to now push. If they get a few more good team fights like that, and then an actual push started going, they may be able to make a comeback.
Yes, because right now they only have 2 turrets, and it's not even in the same lane, much less the same side of the map.
They are in a difficult position right now, but if they can do what they did just then, they may be able to turn this around, and that's what I'm looking forward to if they do make this turnaround.
And we can always hope for these guys too.
However, here comes the teleport on the bot lane. Shen continuing to push that bot lane. He is determined to get that last tower before they get onto the other 2 towers around the base. Blue team may have suffered a minor wound, but they have not lost the limb yet. They are going to take another blue buff for the Lux. Lux, I'm going to have to give MVP to Lux in this game for the blue team. She's just done so much damage and just been so responsible for all those fights. She's only suffered that first death in that engagement.
You just like Lux.
I do just like Lux, but she's just done so much this game. All the damage that's been going out has been very much effectively due to her. She's survived a lot of the engagements, and she's just done so much input toward the team fights, and that's really what has contributed towards the winning of these engagements. I mean, don't get me wrong, the rest of the team have been doing incredible, but Lux just seems to be the one that's leading this, or all the damage that's being dishing out. And right now, the blue team, they have the blue team have made sure the red team have suffered yet another choice. Do they stop the Shen pushing bottom, or do they stop the blue team that is now slowly making their way onto the Baron? Vladimir is going to try and deal with the Shen. However, Shen not really giving any tosses. He's still going to push that lane. Vladimir's managed to back him off for now, but there is only 3 people around the Baron, whereas 4 people are converging onto Baron. They are wanting to stop it. There's now 4 people there. They do want to try and stop it. They are going to stop the Baron. They know they're not going to take it while the red team is there. Vladimir's going to try and stop the Shen, but the Shen is still taking on. They do take the Baron, though. The Baron is taken. Sejuani's still trying to do what she could. She flashed in there, trying to take it, but beautifully done Lux there to take the Baron, and now they're going to have to defend.
Absolutely. Sejuani actually got to save her flash. She used her charge over the wall. That way she could save it. However, they just kind of left her alone.
They did. They did. It's just, it's been bouncing a lot, but it's been mostly in the blue team's favor for this entire game. Blue team now trying to push on the middle inhibitor. They are going to take it. Red team can't do anything about it. They can't even do anything about the Shen, which is taking their bot turret. All the turrets in all the lanes are now gone. It does mean that they are going to go for Shen, but it means the blue team is roaming all the way up to the top lane. They're going to try and take the next inhibitor as well. If they take all 3 inhibitors, I don't know how the red team are going to come back from this.
I don't think they will.
But they did manage to do that. In comes the Cataclysm, in comes the Hero Plague, there goes the Brand ulti, so much damage going straight down, beautiful Lux laser, I think Thresh may go down from the burn damage, but there goes the baton to save Thresh. That was beautifully done. Damage coming out from both Jarvan and Cogmore to pick up 2 more kills there. And they are going to take the inhibitor. They've lost 3 people now. Will they? I don't think they could go back from this right now. If Sejuani and Faris can both come back from this, this is probably an amazing feat. But here comes the Q shot from Varus. It does miss everyone, so he uses his E instead to try and do as much damage as possible. However, they're now going to start beating on the turrets. I don't know if you can see this, guys. Well, I think you can see what I'm seeing right now, guys. This is pretty much becoming towards the end of the game. They are now pushing those final 2 turrets. They're going to start on it. There goes the laser. Beautiful flash there by Sejuani to avoid the laser. Nicely done. I'm losing my voice. They are going to hit the turret, and there goes the GG. Oh my god. Blue wins.
Blue wins? Yes. And that just seems to be the trend of the day. I've yet to see a purple team win. So, advice, be purple.
Well, that was an exponentially awesome game. Exponentially.
So you still want to give that MVP to Lux, huh?
I will give my MVP to Lux
Well, fine. You
for
be that way.
for the blue team.
You be
At
that way.
least. I will. Why? Who do you think should get the MVP?
I personally think Blitzcrank should get the MVP.
What, the random Blitzcrank that was running across the screen at one point?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Alright, guys, we're going to go ahead and get into our next game whenever we are invited to it.